YouTube, what's going on with you guys, man? It's Father Dark, and we got to talk about Marvel Rivals Ranked, man. Don't get it wrong, I'm loving the game, and I just want to preface this video by saying that I am not a conspiracy theorist. That was a very long time ago, early 20s and teens, but I've since then matured, and I tend to think about things from a very objective standpoint. But I'm also not, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck yesterday, as people from my generation like to say, and before. Meaning that, I am not necessarily the one who you're going to sit here and, just throw a bunch of coincidence in my face and have me believe that it's actually just coincidence. After a certain period of time, I start to question things and look at the numbers and the analytics and data, and I go, hey, wait a second, is this actually what it is, or is there something else, underlying thing going on here, issue? Right. And, I have a lot of experience in games. I'm in my 30s now, so I've been gaming the majority of my life. My earliest memories are playing, Super Mario on the original Game Boy. So, I have played all games at some point in time. Well, for the most part, I've played a lot of games. Let me say that, not all of them. But I have played a lot of games, and I tend to usually go with competitive games. So I've played ranked in a lot of different games. And, I've seen the development of games over time and algorithms and stuff that have been put into games to keep people playing for a longer period of time. So, it's kind of a situation where, I put a picture up here like of games, or game history. And if your game history looks like this, then this is definitely a video that you would be interested in. If you notice anything about this is kind of strange. You see that there's pretty much like a 50-50 split with win-loss, right? Now, the thing about ranked is that ranked, the way that it's supposed to work is that, you start out at the bottom, and of course everyone is different, but everybody starts out, it's in regards to skill levels, everyone is different, but you're supposed to start out at the bottom. Everybody starts out at the bottom. So whether you're actually a top 500 player, diamond, plat, gold, silver, bronze, you're supposed to start out at the bottom and you work your way up, right? And, if you're actually like let's say a top 500 player, you should progress pretty quickly. And I'm by no means a top 500 player yet. I'm still learning a lot of the different things about the game, a lot of different mechanics, but I'm by far also nowhere near a bottom tier player, like whether that be bronze, silver, or gold. That's not where I should be being placed at, right? But the problem with a hero shooter is that it is supposed to be a team-based game. So the rank stands out a lot more than something like Call of Duty. And I'll come back to that in a moment to make a comparison here, because that is like the primary game that I played prior and played ranked in and never had an issue ranking up, because it was a lot more determined off of like your individual kind of skill. So I mean, there were some mechanics where you do want to team around and stuff, but if you're a good player in Call of Duty, you can easily climb up through the ranks very quickly, and you'll kind of get to a point like a Crimson level where you will start to kind of need a team, just because everyone holds hands so tight. But like I said, I'll get to that in a moment, right? The problem with Marvel Rivals, though, is a team-based game. So it does not matter how good you are individually. You can be really, really good, but like at a certain point, if your enemies are very well skilled and they know how to play the game, they're going to counter whatever it is you're doing. That's what makes a game good, is that there's supposed to be counters. If you play a character that's a dive heavy character, there are characters that are an alternative to that can easily, they're anti-dive. Like let's say Penny, for example. You try to dive me with Penny, I can just web you really quick and stop you. So Magics, they love to try to dive you. Black Panthers, I just wait a second, be calm, and I just web them up, and then throw a bunch of mines down, hit them with a couple of shots, boom, they're gone, right? So whatever it is that you do, there's a counter to that, right? And a good team will take a second and go, wait a second, okay, he's playing a super dive character. Let me be an anti-dive character, right? Or whatever the case may be. And that's how that works, right? But if your teammates are extremely lacking and they just lack any type of understanding of how the game works, any type of game sense, game awareness, whatever you want to call it, you're going to hit kind of the ceiling where it's like, I can only do so much. You can get 50 eliminations, or let's say you're a healer. There's games where I've healed 30, 40K, for healing, and teammates still just couldn't do anything. They just had zero ability to take out their opponents. They were panicking in close range engagements, far away, whatever. So, like I said, there's an issue here where, you start to kind of realize that, wait a second, if I play the game and, I've had 3 wins or 4 wins, you start to kind of know like, okay, they're going to put me in with some people that are just absolutely terrible at the game. People that you almost wonder if they can hear and see because of how bad they play, right? And then after so many losses, all of a sudden you get put in with a team of people that, and this is all within the same rank, that know how to actually play the game. Now, that doesn't make any sense. If I get to a certain rank, you should expect that, okay, people have started to learn from their mistakes. That's how they got to this rank. There's no reason why, if I'm in plat, that my teammates should have the mindset of a bronze player. That just doesn't make sense. How did you get to plat? It can't be a situation where you're being carried, consistently, and so many people at the same time. Like, it's just statistically, that's just not possible, right? So what is happening here? And it makes me think back to, like I was saying before, Call of Duty Ranked. In Call of Duty Ranked, that was the first time that I personally started to see that all ranked lobbies were not the same. Just like when you're playing in, regular lobbies, people like to call them streamer lobbies, right? So those lobbies where people don't ever shoot back, they have zero awareness. There's one guy that's just decimating a whole entire team and they're not doing anything. And then you sit back and you go, my lobbies don't look like that. That's very weird. In my lobbies, everybody knows exactly what they're doing. Everybody works together. You're getting pushed constantly by 3 people that are using meta loadouts at all times. And I know you're saying, well, what does that have to do with rivals, right? We'll get to that. I'll make this point here in a moment. But, I'm not going to say the name of this individual, but I have a really good friend of mine that I've been gaming with for a long time. Met him through another friend. And he just happened to live close to me. So we became friends in real life. And we also gamed together. Now, the thing is that the reason why I don't want to say his name is because I don't want to hurt his feelings. I know he watches my content regularly, but when we first started playing Call of Duty together, his KD was like a 0.2, and he's probably going to know who I'm talking about, but still, I got to throw somebody under the bus here, right, to make an example, right? His KD was a 0.2. It might have even been like lower. I can't remember. I just remember it was one of the lowest KDs that I'd ever seen next to a friend of his that was even lower, if you can believe that. And as someone who's always been a positive KD player, even when I'm camo grinding, which I know a lot of people, they say, well, you got to choose to either have a good KD or camo grind in Call of Duty. And that's just not true. Even when I've camo grinded, I've always maintained a positive KD. I know how to, like, regardless of what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, how to end up coming out of 99.9% of my matches with a higher KD than, or more amount of eliminations than deaths, right? So like I said, I'm not the best player, but I definitely am a very competitive player that fully understands the mechanics of whatever game that I am playing at the time. And if I don't, I definitely take the time and energy to learn. But like I said, I was able to coach him and get him up to a 0.8 KD. Now, I know a lot of people think, well, that's still really low. That's negative, blah, blah, blah. The point is that that's a massive jump from where he was, right? I can only do so much. But the thing is that going from 0.2 to a 0.8, I think most players that are that low in the KD bracket would much prefer to be the 0.8 than the 0.2, right? And he definitely was happy. But the thing is that he would send me clips, and when I was watching the clips, I would notice, like, yo, these people don't even seem real. Like, they literally, like, they would be being shot at from behind, and it would take them 5 business days to turn around. And even then, they would miss all their shots. People weren't slide canceling. They had zero movement. They were using like SMGs with sniper scopes on them. Like, I know this stuff sounds crazy, but there is really a whole different world with skill-based matchmaking. And the thing is that I understand why skill-based matchmaking exists. Do I like it? That's controversial, and that could be a whole different video and topic. I think I've talked about it before, like months ago in a previous video, maybe not, but nonetheless, though, I can understand why something exists for the greater good, but I may not necessarily like it, right? There's a lot of things like that in life that exist, and we may not necessarily agree with it, but we can understand why it exists, right? There's that, right? But like I said, these lobbies were completely different, right? Now, these were just public lobbies, right? So that I kind of understood. And like I said, that for those who don't know, skill-based matchmaking, it just means that, basically, like, if you're a lower KD player, you should not be being put in lobbies with people like me or people that are like above me in skill level, right? Because it's just debilitating mentally. See, good players, they don't mind being put in, like, thrown to the wolves, so to speak, or whatever, because that's how you get better at things. Like, you know, there was a time when skill-based matchmaking was really not a thing in games. Pretty much it was just random. They just put whoever with whoever, and if you got absolutely ran through, you got ran through. No diddy, you know what I mean? But at the same time, as time has went on, corporations have started to realize that bad players don't really care about getting better. They just want to sit down and enjoy the game after a long day of work or school, or even if you don't do any of those things, they're just lazy-minded people. And there's no offense to anybody like that, but it is what it is. There's certain things that I don't want to have to, like, I don't want to, if I go to the park to just like shoot the ball around, I don't want LeBron to come to the park and start dunking on me. Like, it's like, bro, I'm just trying to shoot the ball a little bit. I'm just relaxing, right? If I'm playing soccer or something like that, I don't want whoever the top, I forget his name, but the guy who's like the top soccer player, right? I don't want him coming to the park and just like absolutely dumpstering on me. Like, what are we doing here? I'm not trying to be a pro soccer player or football or basketball player or whatever, right? So I understand that, right? You have a casual market, and then you have a more, like an in-between group of people, and then you have a super competitive group of people that try as hard as they can and basically take advantage of anything that exists. Like in Call of Duty, you have meta loadouts. In my lobbies, every single person runs meta. If I got eliminated and I come back and I delete someone, there's like a 99.9% chance that whatever loadout they dropped is identical to mine, because we all watch the same content. We all sit here and watch JGod, who's like the guy that does the statistics on what are the best loadouts and best attachments, all that kind of stuff. So we're all like in the same mindset, right? Whereas in lower skill lobbies, everybody's using something different because they don't even know what meta means or any of this stuff. So they just choose whatever they like. They don't get on YouTube and meticulously watch videos and stuff that tell them exactly like what are the best routes to take, what are the best strategies, how you do this, et cetera, right? They don't care about any of that stuff. They're just loading in. They're like, oh, cool, guns, boom, guns go brr, right? So it's like whatever. But like I was saying though, that's more understandable when it's pub lobbies, right? Why they might kind of shield these people and hide them away and stuff like that, so that they can basically have more enjoyment, right? Because like it's been proven that people that are like worse at games, once they start getting dumpstered on, they tend to just get off and go play something else, and if they get dumpstered on in that, they'll put on a single player mode and put it on the easiest difficulty. Like, why do you think difficulty levels exist in games? Because everyone has varying skill levels. There's some people that only play games on the easiest mode possible. Some people that like it in between, like a novice or a medium level. And there's people that just want all out hell breaking loose 24/7 to feel like they've done anything, right? And those should exist. But the point that I'm making here, that I'm getting to now, is that when you're playing ranked, that should not be a thing. Ranked is supposed to separate you based off of your rank, right? And if you don't belong in that rank, you shouldn't be able to get there just because the game wants you to feel good about yourself. So this same individual that I'm talking about, when I used to see his clips of pub lobbies, I would think, oh, it's pub lobbies, right? Like, it makes sense that, when he plays by himself, they put him in super easy lobbies, and then he plays with me, and they kind of put us like in between our lobbies. So if I'm a 1.8, 2.4 KD, depending upon what I am at the time and stuff like that in COD, and he's a 0.8 or 0.6, whatever he was, like, at those times, they would try to put us in the middle. So for me, the lobbies would be 10 times easier than they were for me normally. Whereas for him, they would be twice as hard as they were normally, because it's trying to meet in the middle there. You get what I'm saying? So it's putting us at like let's just say it's like a just an even 1 KD lobby or 1.2 or something like that. For me, that's a cakewalk. For him, it's a nightmare, right? He can barely do anything. He doesn't understand anything. He doesn't know what's going on. He's using these very horrible loadouts and getting absolutely deleted by stuff that's broken and just has 0 TTK time. Well, TTK stands for time to, but whatever. Anyway, the point that I'm making is that that's one thing, right? But then he would start sending me clips of rank. Like at one point we were talking and he was like, oh, I just got up to plat. And I'm thinking to myself, how did you get to plat? There's absolutely no way that you got to plat. Like, that's just not possible, right? So I would watch some of his gameplay that he would send me from his ranked lobbies, and his plat ranked lobbies were completely different than like my plat/diamond lobbies at the time, right? Because this was like when like the season had first started, right? I hadn't gotten up to crimson yet, or diamond, right? So, like I said, I'm looking at this and I'm just like, wait a second, this isn't right. Like, you're still getting bot lobbies, but in ranked, and that's when a lot of people like myself started figuring out that there's skill-based matchmaking even in ranked, because a lot of people don't. I forget exactly how it goes, but it's basically like a saying where, basically people don't a lot of times understand that they don't understand things, right? You can't really not like know what you don't know, basically, in a sense. And I'm wording it very poorly, but basically, like, if you're a low tier player, a lot of times they get delusioned because they had a good game because of something like skill-based matchmaking, and they think they're actually better than what they are until they get actually thrown in with the wolves, and then they're like, whoa, I don't like this. What's going on? I got a headache now. I want to get off the game, which is something my buddy used to say all the time. He would call me, be so happy to play. Yo, I just got 10 eliminations in a game, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yo, you want to play? Let's play. We'd load up. I would let him host the lobbies, and all of a sudden he can't even stay alive. As soon he's sitting here slowly gliding in his parachute, and they're just shooting him out of the sky, right? Whereas, like, in my lobbies, that's a no-no. You don't do that. You pick a spot, you dive directly down, you pick up something immediately, and just get to blasting. You know what I mean? Like that Danny DeVito meme from Always Sunny. But, like I said, though, these same tactics are being used in Marvel Rivals, right? Like, they're purposely, they say, hey, you know what? This guy, if we put him in with people that actually know what he's doing, he's more than likely going to advance very quickly. And then he might go and start playing Call of Duty. He might go and start playing the new season of Fortnite. He might go and, go enjoy a walk in the park with his family or whatever, right? So let's just keep basically letting him go up a little bit and then taking him down a little bit, letting him go up a little bit and then taking him down a little bit. Now, that makes sense once you start getting up to the level that you actually belong at, right? The skill level and the rank that you actually belong at, because then everyone is equal, right? Or they should be equal. So that makes sense. But at the same time, like I said, there is no way you're going to convince me that some of these teammates that I get are anywhere near the same level as me. You're talking about DPS that cannot even get not even a third or a fourth of the amount of damage and elimination that I'm getting as a healer. I'm having to heal you and eliminate people. I play Cloak and Dagger. I'm having to come out of playing Dagger to play Cloak to get eliminations because the actual DPS and tanks can't do it while simultaneously trying to heal these people, right? I'm having to do 2 different people's jobs, sometimes 3 people's jobs, because, it's just like they can't do the one thing they're supposed to do. I've lost count now of how many times, and, I could go through and find the clips of the exact moments, but I don't have them labeled, so it's like I don't feel like doing all that. I'd rather just talk to you guys and just have some gameplay going on in the background. But there's been numerous times to the point to where I can't even remember all the times where we've loaded up into a match. And I'm a flex player. I know at least 2 or 3 good characters like really well for each class, right? I know a couple of tanks. I know a lot of DPS, and I know multiple healers, right? At least 3. There's 3 healers that I'm extremely good with: Mantis, Cloak and Dagger, and Sue Storm, right? So I'm a flex player. Whatever, I purposely will wait until everybody has selected their characters, and then I'll select, right? If there's somebody who wants to play Cloak and Dagger and that's all you're a one-trick pony with that, have at it, bro. If all you know is Spider-Man, have at it. If all you know how to do is play Thor, go for it, buddy. I'm not gonna stop your grind or whatever, right? But there's been numerous times now where someone has picked a tank or a DPS, and then they type in the chat right as the match is starting. They go, guys, if we lose, I'm sorry. I don't really know how to play DPS, or I don't really know how to play a tank. Why in the hell are you picking that then? Why? Just say that before the match starts, and someone will switch and let you have whatever character. Like, you're no good to me if you have no idea. I had a guy last night. He picks Magneto. And he literally waits until probably 5 seconds before the doors are about to open, right? We're on that new map, was it Midtown or whatever, right? So, as soon as the doors open, they're ready to blast, right? We got to defend the card or whatever. And, about 5 seconds before the match starts, he goes, yeah, guys, sorry, man. I don't really know how to play Magneto or any of the tanks. So, sorry if we lose this in advance. And I said, me and like 2 other people were like, bro, just switch. Like, whatever it is that you want to play. If we some one of us have your character or something like that, we'll just switch with you, and you can play someone else. I can't even say what the guy said as a reply because it would get my channel shut down. right? Like that was his response to us nicely saying, "Hey, just play anybody that you're comfortable with, and we'll play tank or whatever needs to be done, whatever needs to be worked out or whatever." And he proceeded to let us lose the match because he just didn't want to switch off Magneto. I think the guy went like 3-15 or something like that, 3-20 or something. Everybody else is carrying his weight. By the end of the match, and this is a match that we actually went into overtime with, even with us basically being a man down. I'm not even gonna lie, man. I report people at that point. I've had like 3 people that have gotten like matchmaking limitations because what in the hell is your problem? Why are you loading into a ranked match doing what you should be doing in quick play? If you go into quick play and you have no idea how to use a character, I'm not gonna say a thing to you. It is quick play. There is zero anything that I'm losing or gaining or anything from quick play. Like as a competitive player, I don't take quick play seriously. If I see somebody uploading content from quick play, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, that's quick play. I go into quick play after playing ranked and it just feels like a ghost town. Like people just doing their own things, jumping around, switching characters every few seconds, whatever. They're just kind of staggering out of their spawn. You go into ranked, it's a whole completely different world, right? So I don't even take that seriously. And it's not an offense to anybody that plays quick play. I'm just saying that as me personally, as a competitive player, I don't take it seriously. So if let's say I am playing quick play to warm up or something like that, right? And you wanted to pick Magneto and fail horribly as Magneto, you are never going to hear or see me say anything to you except GG, whatever, you tried. At the most, I'm going to say you tried or something, right? And then I'm going to keep pushing on to the next match. But ranked, I'm not playing ranked for fun. I'm playing ranked to rank up, to win. If I'm not winning because of you, because you literally chose a character that you had no idea how to play, I'm tight. I'm super tight. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. What are we in this for if not to at least attempt to win? Are you going to win them all? No. But what the hell are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, there's no way that ranked is actually ranked anymore. Ranked has become it's a mental endurance simulator, right? It's like, how long can you go? We're going to sit here and take the data, and every time that you close out this game, we're going to say, okay, that's his breaking point. That's when he's had enough. When you go to that lobby and you sit there for 30, 40 minutes, they know you're not just sitting there staring at the screen. They know you probably went up, you got up, you went to go get a drink or talk to the missus or maybe something else that I can't necessarily say. But, they know they're like, okay, all right, he's not loading up another match right away. And if he's not loading up another match, if he's not playing the game, he's probably not buying skins. And that is our whole point, is to keep you here, keep you engaged, and keep you wanting to spend money with us, right? And it's very unfortunate. Like I said, this is just more of a rant to kind of let you all know you're more than likely not crazy. It is different too for people that are only playing on like console and stuff like that versus people that are playing PC only and stuff like that. Because the thing about PC is that I've noticed since becoming exclusively a PC player from someone who was exclusively just a console player, is that console players tend to be like, they're good, but they're limited by their hardware, right? Whereas with PC, it's completely famine or feast, right? It's like you either have people that like they just started playing games yesterday, which is weird because like why would you spend as much money as you did on a gaming PC or laptop or whatever it is you're playing on to just be that bad at games, let alone load into ranked? But you either have those people or you have people that are literally just no lifers. They have, $5,000-$6,000 setups and stuff. They got rooms like me with the LED lights and the floating shelves with lights on those. And, they got they've been playing mouse and keyboard forever and they take it super seriously. And they're making content, all types of stuff. Right. So it's a weird situation. Right. And like I said, there's much more room to get these people on your team that you're just kind of like, how in the hell did me and you get matched up together? Like, there's just no way. And like I said, some games, you can tell it's rigged because it's just like, I load in, everything just works the way it's supposed to. People say, oh, is Bucky your main? You have a Bucky Lord icon or whatever. Well, I'm gonna let you have Bucky. I'm gonna play this other character that I'm also good at or whatever. Oh, we're missing a healer. We only got one healer. I'll swap the healer. Oh, we only got one tank. I'll swap the tank, et cetera, right? Everybody knows how to play their role. Nobody gets out of positioning. You don't have people who are like, I need heals, but they're literally hiding behind a wall, knowing that you're healing the other 5 people, like, or other 4 people, like, you know, out in like the area where like you're on the point or whatever, and you can't heal through a wall. Like basic, just common sense level stuff, right? So, you know, there's that. But like I said, though, you know, I just, it's frustrating, right? Because games used to be games, and you used to not get like a participation trophy for stuff. It was like you loaded into a game. You know, you guys remember like Christmas noobs? You remember that? Remember how like there was people who got the game, like, you know, like the biggest one I remember is personally is like Call of Duty, but like you buy Call of Duty in like the end of October when it usually releases. You'd have plenty of time to learn the game, unlock everything, level up, do all that stuff. And then you have all the people who got their game on Christmas morning. They would load in, they had no idea what was going on, and they would just get absolutely destroyed. And you know what would happen? They would just keep having to play if they wanted to get better. And if they decided like, oh, this is trash, I don't want to play it anymore because I'm not having a fun experience, I'm losing. Well, see you later, bye. And do you think COD was not selling copies back then? But these companies are becoming so money hungry, and especially I feel like because of the free to play dynamic, where there's the microtransactions in games, which I don't have a problem with microtransactions. I actually think that when used correctly, it's a good idea, simply because, one, there's a lot of games that people wouldn't just like. For example, I would not have paid money for Marvel Rivals because I just didn't think that I would be into it. But the fact that I could just download it and have immediate access to it. And the thing is like, I'm not struggling for money. Whatever it is that I want, I'm a pretty fortunate person. Whatever it is I want, my family wants, we're able to get it. But I'm also not someone who just throws money away just because, you know, just as I see anything, I'm just like, whatever. You know, I'm pretty hesitant with games because of just like the market that we live in, where, you know, games are hyped up to be one thing. You see these trailers and all the, you know, the information, all that stuff, and like, oh, this is going to be revolutionary. And then you have Cyberpunk, you know, 2077s and Battlefield 2042s and stuff that come out, and they're just absolute disasters. And people are just immediately like, give me my money back. What are we doing here, right? So I'm very hesitant on games, and I wait to kind of see if they're worth my time before playing. But when it's free to play, there's no risk. You just download it, you start playing, and if you like it, you enjoy it, then yeah, you can start getting cosmetics. And you don't have to get cosmetics to be better at the game or anything like that. You can just get them simply because you like them. You know, I like the Psylocke skin, boom, get the Psylocke skin. It's like, oh, I'm playing Doctor Strange now, I don't got a skin for him. Let me get the Battle Pass, boom. You know, this new Spider-Man skin came out, I like that. I only play him every once in a blue moon, whatever. I'll grab that. You know, so it's one of those situations where, you know, when used correctly, microtransactions and monetization, stuff like that in games are a good thing. But the unfortunate thing is that companies start to get greedy and they start to manipulate the game to where it's supposed to be fair, but it's not actually fair though. They're rigging it because some people, their feelings get hurt a little bit more easy, and they know this information. They're fully aware. They have patents for this stuff. It's like I said, this is not a conspiracy theory. You're more than welcome to Google. You know, as a matter of fact, I'll put them up on the screen right now. Let me see what the timestamp is. 27 minutes. All right, yeah, I'll put it up for you guys. You know, the patents that they have for these games and stuff like that, to rig and manipulate matchmaking to make people happier. And I've seen it in real time. I've seen friends of mine that aren't that good at video games who play them, and when they play them and they start to lose, they get frustrated, they get irritated, they want to get off the game and go, you know, they're like, I mean, I'm gonna go to the bar, I'm gonna go watch you know, the football game or whatever, blah blah blah, right? And these are people who just a few matches prior were super excited to play, but after they get their head, you know, just done in after a couple of times, they're like, you know what, man, this is trash. I don't want to play this anymore. I'm getting off and go do something else or blah, 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 right? Whereas with me, that's not how I am. If I say I'm sitting down and I'm getting to this rank, or I'm going to accomplish this thing today or whatever, I will get absolutely destroyed 100 times in a row because I know that I'm going to continue to get better over time. And eventually I'm going to be the one that's going to be destroying people. So, you know, there's that. But you know, like I said, I'm going to wrap this video up. We're coming up on the 30-minute mark here, and like I said, I think I've covered most of the stuff. But let me know in the comments though, like, do you guys think that matchmaking is actually rigged? Do you think that I'm just talking out of my, you know, wazoo here, and that, you know, it's a skill issue? You know, like I said, this is an objective channel, so like, just because I say something does not mean you have to agree with me. You're more than welcome to go into the comments and tell me like, hey, Dark, you're tweaking. I don't have this issue, yada, yada, yada. I've never run into this. But if it is something that you have noticed, also let me know. Like I said, I enjoy people's input. I enjoy talking to you all. I talk to you all like, my kids are in here and I'm just having a conversation, or my friends or something like that in the office, and you're sitting on the couch and I'm just talking to you, ranting, whatever. But I do enjoy that input in the comments that you guys leave, whether, like I said, you're disagreeing, you're agreeing, you feel kind of like impartial about it, whatever. But just let me know though how you guys feel, man, and what your experience has been like, whether it's been ranked or just pub lobbies or whatever. So, but this is Dark, and I appreciate you listening. I'm out.